to Everyday Cooking with Ann. And tonight we are going to be showing you how to make Enchiladas Suizas. If you don't know what that means, that's my husband who has traveled in Switzerland and speaks Schweizerdeutsch, which is Swiss German, and Spanish as well, told me that that means Swiss enchiladas. So this is a little different. It doesn't have a real enchilada sauce, but it has a chili verde sauce. It will have cream on the top. It's going to be very creamy and spicy, and you know, there's nothing better than creamy and spicy together. So let me show you the ingredients. I'm going to show you the different steps we're going to take. First, I'm going to show you how to do chicken the way I do when you want to put it in a casserole like we're doing today. I'm going to show you how to make the chili verde sauce. I'm going to show you how we cook the tortillas ahead of time a little bit. And then we're going to put the whole thing together in a casserole ready to eat. So let's get started. First of all, I want to show you the chicken. Now, we put this chicken in the oven at 375 for 45 minutes. As you can see, I've already done one chicken. This is a bone-in chicken breast with the skin on it, okay? And I've already chopped up the first one here, but I wanted to show you how it looks. You actually put this on a little aluminum foil or a parchment on a pan, and it's so easy to cook. And the reason I love this chicken is because it is moist and delicious when you want to shred it to put in any salads or casseroles or anything like that. And not only that, this chicken is like at least $1 a pound cheaper than boneless, skinless chicken breast. And you don't have to worry about it being, too tough or too, overcooked or something. So you want to buy this chicken if you can. If you can't, boneless chicken works just fine. You can actually put it and boil it for 10 minutes and then shred it. Whichever's easier, you can put it in the microwave and shred it too. But I'm just telling you, if you have a chance to buy this chicken and keep some on hand for making chicken, anything, this is the one to use. So let me just show you what I do. I just remove it. We season this with salt, garlic salt, and some pepper. And you just remove the skin. It's really delicious too if you want to eat a little bit of that too. So I don't take the whole thing apart, but I'm going to show you how I take this apart like this. And I just start, and I've already chopped a little bit, but I just show you how I start shredding it with my fingers into little pieces before I'm going to chop it. Now, actually, I measured out in the recipe, it calls for 2 cups of chicken. This is not quite 2 cups of chicken, and that's why I made more chicken breasts. And so here I'm making this here, and then I'm going to show you how you kind of take this apart and shred this. Okay, and now we're going to get it off. As soon as we're finished here, I'll show you how we're going to put that in the casserole in just a few moments. Okay, now we're going to make the chili verde sauce, and that includes 2 tablespoons of melted butter, which I have ready to go, and I've got a couple of things of garlic, about a 2/3 cup of chopped onion. I'm going to add that in here to saute. While that's sauteing and getting a little bit softened up, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what else we're going to put in here. So we're going to be making a roux out of this. A roux is when you have butter and flour to make a thickening, and then you're going to add things to make a sauce out of it, okay? So to do that, we're going to be making, it calls for a cup of green chilies, but this is 7 ounces. 8 ounces would be a cup, so I think this will be fine just to use this 7-ounce can of green chilies. I'm going to add a little bit of ground cumin. It says a pinch. I'm going to add a little more than that because the more flavor, the better as far as I'm concerned. I also have my trusty Mexican seasoning, which I put in everything, so we're going to put a little bit of that in too. And then we'll see where we go from there once we get the sauce ready. So right now I'm just sauteing this till it is nice and translucent. It might take a minute. Okay, I've been just sauteing this onion and garlic for maybe 2 minutes, and it's just about translucent enough. At this point, I'm going to add the 2 tablespoons of flour. And this is kind of what it looks like when you make a roux. It kind of thickens up a little bit, turns into a little bit of a paste. And this is what will thicken our wet ingredients. Basically the salt. And I'm going to add about a teaspoon of this Mexican seasoning. post that recipe along here too. That goes along with almost all of my other Mexican recipes. You can find that recipe in the chips and salsa recipe that I've already posted. Okay, and now what I want to do is go ahead and add my green chilies and my chicken broth. And I'll be stirring this up together for a little while, waiting for this to thicken. I'll show you what that looks like when it's thickened up. Okay, this is bubbling for about a minute, and so this shows how thick our sauce is going to be. This is our chili verde sauce that's going to go on top of everything. We're going to take this off the heat to cool a little bit while we get the tortillas ready. So I have a little pan here. I've got a dozen tortillas, and how we prepare those is that we're going to just kind of fry those a little bit at each one. They're not going to be crispy, but they're going to have a little bit of frying to them. Just a second, it'll be heated up. Okay, the next step is we are just taking a slightly little bit of oil. Well, there's a little bit more than a little oil in a pan, and we are just frying these up a little bit. We don't want them to be crispy, but we do want them to be kind of cooked. Meanwhile, while I'm doing this, I prepared my oven by turning it on to 350 degrees to help melt all of this when these are ready to go. So I put these right here on some paper towels to absorb the oil. Too soft and you don't want them too crispy. Just kind of cook through a little bit. Okay, here's the next one. Okay, we're now on the last step of making our enchiladas. We've already made our chili verde sauce. We've cooked our tortillas a little bit in oil, and I have paper towels to soak up extra oil here. And now what you do is you take your tortilla and dip it thoroughly inside the chili verde. You want to put maybe a couple of tablespoons of chicken in here and a couple of tablespoons of however much you want of cheese, and roll it seam side down in here. Okay, so we're going to take the next one to do the same thing. Let's watch. The reason why you want to cook these tortillas is because these would rip to shreds if they weren't a little bit cooked. So you're going to lay that in there. Put some more chicken in the middle, some more cheese, and we're going to roll these, and I'll show you in a little bit what it looks like with them all finished and ready to go, and then we're going to put the sauce on top and the cream and then put it in the oven. Okay, I filled all of the enchiladas and all of the chicken that I made out of those 2 chicken breasts. I filled completely up in 12 tortillas, corn tortillas that we rolled with cheese and chicken. Okay, what I'm going to do next is the next part of the recipe is that we're going to add a cup of heavy whipping cream over the top of this. This is the Swiss part, I think, the cream. Okay, we're going to add more cheese. So I'm not exact about the cheese because everybody likes different amounts of cheese. I probably used an extra cup that the recipe didn't call for. So make it whatever your preference is. I'm going to add some green onion on the top of here to give it a little bit of extra zip and flavor. And then I have my olives that we're going to throw on when we get it out of the oven. So I'm going to put this in the oven for about 30 minutes at 250 degrees, and I'm going to leave it uncovered. Okay, this has been baking for 30 to 40 minutes, and you can see it's all puffed up. Got the enchilada, it has the green chilies in it. It's all ready to go. You'd see a little bit of the cream on top. So let's get into it here a little bit. Take one of these out. Oh, that looks delicious. It's nice and hot. And I'm going to add here, some olives on top. You can add them on the top of the whole casserole if you're going to serve it at once, but if you're just going to eat individual, a little bit of that, a little bit of sour cream. And if you have salsa, your favorite salsa, it's already got plenty of onions on. I don't think you need to put more, but that looks ready to eat.